Hey, how we doing? Okay. Thanks for asking. I got one person who asked how I am, and that's how it goes. I guess I should open with a little bit about myself. I always go to the Dollar Tree before I go to a movie. Do you guys know that trick? Yeah, because if you go to the Dollar Tree, well, if you go to the movie theater and you spend $12 on snacks, that's like popcorn and a drink. But then if you go to the Dollar Tree and you spend $12 on snacks, you got to be out of your fucking mind. Like that. I show up earlier to movies now just to spend more time in the Dollar Tree. There's something peaceful about being surrounded by like a ton of cheap shit and just knowing that in this place nobody can buy anything more expensive than me. It's the only place that's like that, you know? It's an oasis from the rat race, the competition, you know, all the bullshit. Just leave your shame at the door in the Dollar Tree. Like nobody even bothers to cover their mouth when they cough in the Dollar Tree. I can walk around in a Dollar Tree with an item in each hand, coughing and talking out loud to no one. And nobody stops me. Nobody checks in. Nobody even looks. It's like, wow, they have like 3 different kinds of scissors here in the Dollar Tree. I wonder which one is almost worth $1. It can't be this one. It's probably the big one. The Dollar Tree got a lot bigger in my lifetime. Used to just be a little shoebox in a mini mall with a parking lot in front of it, next to a bunch of other stuff. And now the Dollar Tree has a whole kitchen section. Like you can buy a kitchen knife, you can buy a mask, you can buy black gloves, a Bible, a box of matches, all of these horrible things for the price of a cheeseburger. Like you could do some fucking damage with a single trip to the Dollar Tree. Like you could walk into a Taco Bell and work there for 1 hour, quit, take your earnings to the Dollar Tree and get famous the wrong way. That option is always available to everyone you've ever met. Things haven't fallen apart yet. You know, it's a bit of a miracle. You know? There was that Dollar Tree by the mall, though, and you guys know when you go to the mall, there's teenagers, and they're dating now. And they really want you to know it. And just the way that they make out is they lack experience. And they compensate with just a lot of like open mouth push. Like a filter feeding sea creature. Just going reckless. I was in the Dollar Tree and there was this young couple making out very recklessly in this aisle of the Dollar Tree. And here's the thing, like, I don't think they should be doing that, you know? They were getting real hot and real heavy. Like, she was giving him one of these on the outside of his pants, and I just don't think they should be doing that. Like, it's not that I don't think they should be doing that. I don't think they should be doing that at 3 p.m, you know, next to the batteries. I'm not a hero. I'm not going to apprehend them. Like, what am I going to say? Like, I know it feels good now, but one day you'll grow to be my age, and then you'll have something. Like there's no advice here. I just acted like I had a reason to be there and ran. I was just like, wow, they have like 2 packs of 9 volts for $1. How's that even possible? I used to date a witch. We lived together. Used to. Yeah, thanks for the woo. There's she used to wake me up doing witch shit at 3 in the morning, which is the witching hour, and that is something that you learn after you move in. She'd come into the room and be like, "Hey, I'm doing a seance. I'm contacting ghosts," and I'd be like, "What? Okay." Because I'm not worried about ghosts. Like I'm a 30-year-old man. I'm not. I have emotional problems. I have things that I'm working on. Like the ghosts have probably been here the whole time. Talk to them. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not worried about a door that closes itself. Like, that's something I can handle. But did she blow out the black candles before she came in here to tell me this? Fire hazards. I can deal with ghosts, but I can't have, like, unattended sage. So we broke up. Whenever you, leave a relationship and you have to find a new apartment, new living space, and you kind of shed your skin and sort of become kind of the reckless and shitty person that you were before you met that person. When I was living with a partner in an apartment, I would wake up early in the morning to bake bread. I'd be like, wow, the sun, a day is being born. What better time than now to practice a craft? And now that I live alone in a room, I'm like, well, so nobody's looking. SpaghettiOs and acid, again, doesn't matter. Just try to have fun, save a little bit of money. If you can do those two things in your 30s, you're killing it. I've got a lot of good tips for having fun and saving money. Ever since things kind of bottomed out for me, my friends come up to me all the time. They're like, "Hey, Ben, you look like you're having fun and saving money." That's the look that you get. All those savings go to just dark circles under your eyes and a lot of mumbling. I got a lot of cool tips for having fun and saving money. Here's the first one. Let me tell you how I started my day today. So I woke up in my room, and I stayed there, and I didn't turn the lights on. And here's another cool tip for having fun and saving money. You can drink a glass of water in the dark. You can try to figure out where the ants are coming from. Never get to the bottom of that one. It's important to remember, everyone, it's not about getting anything done. It's not about getting results when it comes to having fun and saving money. It's just about the journey. It's about being there for the whole thing, whatever it is. With the ant thing, so do you guys know your local cafes, how they have those packets of sugar for coffees? I'm losing a few people in the back. You guys know? They have those? Okay. So the packets of sugar, you don't have to pay for those. And so when you go into the place, once you've got them in your hand, it doesn't matter if they ask you to leave. You already got what you came for. So you take those packets of sugar, you put them in a dish, and you place that dish in the least popular corner of your room, and then that corner belongs to the ants now. And that way you get the whole rest of the place to yourself. There's another cool tip for having fun and saving money. You can check out your local library. It is a public resource, underutilized. It's free to everyone. Just go to your local library and cry in front of other people's kids. You're not supposed to cry in public, especially as a man. I don't think we have like a vocabulary for that one yet. You know, I don't think it's even a bad thing that we haven't crossed that bridge. We have a lot of work before us before we can cross that one off the list of how do we deal with strange men crying at you in public. I don't think it's bad that we haven't gotten there yet. But I know that a lot of the men feel that itch, you know. You know, we're human. Sometimes you got to let it out, and sometimes there's nowhere to go. And so I got some tip for you guys. Whenever you feel the itch, just grab a book first. If you have a book, that way nobody suspects a thing. They just think that you read more than they do. The last time this happened, I had a book with me. It was very obviously about dragons. Said something about dragons on the front and dragons on the spine, and people would see me breaking up in public and they'd be like, wow, like I wish I loved anything as much as this guy loves dragons. You know? You want to know what it's like to sell your sperm as a redhead? How about that? There's a segue. There you go. It's that level 1 genius. Yeah, like, so the thing is, if you're a redhead and you want to sell your sperm, they put it on the website now. I didn't check the website before I went, but they don't want you on the parking lot. This is a real thing. Like, I went up and I was like thinking like, okay, time to make some money. Because, you know, like, you might not be able to tell in the back, people up front, this right here, I'm not just redheaded. This right here is storm cloud gray. Okay? That's more rare than blue eyes. I'm left-handed, double jointed in both shoulders. I'm immune to poison ivy. I'm a Noah's Ark of recessive genetic shit. Like, you can't pick this shit up anywhere. It's a one-stop shop for all of these traits. I figure my sperm should be worth like $63. Okay, that's generous on my end. But whenever I went into the place, they were like, we're good. Please no. Please no. I went up to the receptionist and I was like, hey, well, that's not fair. Why don't you want my seed? And she said, because nobody wants to have redheaded kids. Okay, we had a redhead. We kept it in the back of the fridge for like 6 months, and then we realized the space was more valuable than the sample. And I was like, that's bullshit, you know? Nobody wants to have redheaded kids. That's not true. My mom wanted to have a redhead. And have you ever been saying something out loud for the first time? And as you're saying it, you're also realizing that you're wrong. I'm sure my dad, like, when that Rod Stewart song was, like, kicking in or whatever was going on at the time of my conception, I'm sure that he wasn't thinking, you know what I really want to manifest in a son right now is somebody who's going to bitch every time we can afford to go to the beach. I think that was exactly what I want to put into this life. No, nobody asked for it. I get it. Nobody wants to have redheaded kids. It's okay. I still look okay. How do I look? Give it up for me. I've never done that before. I've never had a room big enough where it would satisfy my bullshit. You know? It's great. That was great. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. I've been thinking a lot about that guy who shot Reagan. Because Because, I'm in my 30s. Everybody has a phase, where you just sort of kind of think about that guy who shot Reagan. Like, his name was John Hinckley Jr. Allegedly, the reason that he shot Ronald Reagan is because he was deeply in love with the actress, the lovely and talented Jodie Foster. And it's an American story. That touches me, man, because he's a true romantic, nobody's ever gonna love you like that. Nobody's ever been like, hey, like, wow, like, okay, so there's some men and women in the audience, we've all done some pretty wacky stunts to catch the eye of that special someone. You just do things you wouldn't ordinarily do just to be like, hey, I'm here, check it out. You write a love letter. You learn their favorite cheesy song on guitar or something. Things that you don't tell your friends about. I feel like most of the people in this room would probably draw the line at like minor acts of treason. But not John Hinckley Jr. That's why he's a true romantic. He didn't even say, hi, my name is John. He just said, I'm going to kill the most unkillable fucking man in the world for you, Jodie. He didn't even say, I saw your movies. He just said, like, I'm going to kill the last remaining nuclear superpower on Earth for you, Jodie. Which is like a really weird way to introduce yourself to an actress who's gay. But, nobody's ever gonna love you like that, man. That's like totally crazy. That's like completely crazy. But guys, isn't like love supposed to be like a little bit crazy? Love, it's the big scary ride at the theme park. You don't want to get on because you're like, ooh, boy, it's too big, it's too scary, it moves too fast. And then as soon as it's over, you just want to skip the line and get straight back on again. And there's nothing funny about that. Big fan of Little Caesars pizza. Another one of my classic segues. You guys eat at Little Caesars? Oh, it's a big Little Caesars crowd. Cool. I like Little Caesars because they're not trying to compete. All the other corporate pizza chains are trying really hard to tell you that their stuff is good. Not Little Caesars. I think Papa John spends millions and millions of dollars every year to tell you, like, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. And Little Caesar's just like, hey, it's just fucking pizza. How much were you gonna pay for that guy's pizza? Who has money for that? Don't do that. Don't go to like the Domino's and get the Domino's Pizza pizza and look, you bite into it and look, there's another little pizza inside of it. Wow. So creative. Little Caesars doesn't do any of that. Little Caesars just like, no, we're not doing that. No, and no, I'm not gonna bring it to you. No, you come to me, you pick up your pizza here at Little Caesars, but also you can't eat it here. I don't care where you eat it. You can eat it in your car. Little Caesars doesn't have any tables. Little Caesars didn't give up on selling pizza. They just took the concept of giving up and blew it up into a business model. Just started kicking people out. I was in a Little Caesars Pizza a little while ago, and the woman behind the counter, she looked like she was like 17 years old, like first job, and I was like, okay, she's probably like 17. She had a lot of bracelets on her wrist, and I was like, okay, that's probably like 17. Is that what the kids are doing now? I don't know. It's probably 17. And then I looked into her eyes, and I could tell she's probably actually just been dead for centuries. I was like, hey, can I get like a large cheese pizza? And she was like, very professional, very polite. She was like, we actually only have one size of pizza here at Little Caesars. Very professional, very polite. I think what she meant to say was, do you know where the fuck you are right now? Like, you want different sizes of pizza? We have one pizza pan in the back. We make the breadsticks in that thing too, man. They come in circles. We keep the pan next to the cup. The cup says sauce. And guess what? That's how much fucking sauce goes on the pizza every time. They have to live by that at Little Caesars. You know, like, because they're selling pizza for $5. I think that, like, if 100 Little Caesars employees, like, in the same afternoon, were just like, hey, I'm going to put a little bit extra cheese on this pizza. My friend's coming in. If 100 of them did that in, like, 2 hours, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. Nobody works at Little Caesars anymore. I like Little Caesars pizza because they're like, hey, if you want a pizza for $5, guess what? It's done. It's been done for 2 fucking hours, so do you still want it or not? I used to live in Los Angeles. It was I lived in something called a dorm house when I was there. I was there for about 2 years. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, but I lived there for 2 years in Los Angeles. And a dorm house is where Russians buy an ordinary suburban household and fill it with bunk beds, and then you rent a bed and live there with 40 other people. And it's kind of like living in a cult, but nobody agrees on anything. Very stressful, tense place to live. Nobody sleeps well, and one shower. So big point of tension is the shower in that place. And I took a job with a catering company. And my first day on the job, I got to go up to the Hollywood Hills, a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and cater a GQ photo shoot, which is sort of like a fashion magazine. And in the photographer of the shoot, like, it was $1 million mansion, most beautiful place I've ever been. The floors were white. I wasn't allowed to walk inside with shoes on because the floors are so white that I'd fuck him up with shoes on. And the photographer came out to meet me. He was like, wow, so you have very interesting facial hair. Is the rest of the hair on your body like that? And I was like, yeah, dude, cool. Like, what are you getting at? He was like, so I'm doing a black and white erotic photography photo shoot that will not be sold in this country. How's that sound? Okay, I think I get it. Yeah, I'm into it. Because he was like, you're not like LA hot. You're good looking. And I was like, yeah, fuck them with their 6-pack abs. Like, I have character. You're right. I'm going to penetrate this shit. And I was telling him about where I was living, and he was like, "Ooh, so you're like a punk. You're like a drifter, outlaw kind of guy. We should use that in the shoot. So like in the shoot, you're gonna be like smoking cigarettes and looking out a window and like drinking Jack Daniels, and you're paranoid and your dick is out. How's that?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, I get it." So I did show up later, and it wasn't really anything like that. There was no story. There was nothing like that. He just ripped a hole in a jock strap and threw it on the bed and was like, "Get in." And I was like, okay, cool. This isn't really what we talked about, but okay, here we go. He's like, "Don't you want to get a little bit rocked up so your dick looks bigger in the pictures?" And I was like, "You're right, totally. Yeah, because as long as I'm challenging this superficial bullshit, I should still be a stud." And I was kind of like flexing my muscles. We're taking pictures. And he's like, this isn't really working. I want to see your asshole. Can I see your asshole? And I was like, and I'd been living in squalor for some time at this point. And I did have what is called a fungal infection on my asshole. And what I said to him was, so it's a little bit red down there. And he was like, that's fine. I have makeup for that. And he starts putting makeup on my asshole. It's just lube. And he's kind of digging around. And he's like, wow, that's like really red. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't really know what's going on down there. And he said, so I think I'm good. You can take your money and go. And I was like, okay, cool. Glad this worked out. That's sort of that's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have sort of at the bottom there's like food and shelter. That's sort of where I was at, and then at the top you have like self-actualization. This guy showed me his portfolio. He'd photographed Cindy Crawford and Michael Jordan, the guy from Sliders, all of the A-list talent in Los Angeles. He lived in a $1 million mansion, highest level of his career, and it's like none of that matters really until you can just trick a drifter into getting fucked. That's right above self-actualization is using that power to put dreams into somebody lower than you and use that to fuck them. Okay, not much of a closer. I got, you know what always gets my dick hard is the music of Stephen Foster. Any Stephen Foster fans in the house? I got a couple. Stephen Foster, he was like an old-timey 1800s composer. It's okay if you don't know the name. You definitely know his music. He wrote Oh, Susanna. Okay, not a hit. Camptown Races. Okay, everybody knows that one. Like, Camptown ladies, sing this song. Comes right back. That's how deep that song gets you. That used to be the best that we could do. Just doo-dah, doo-dah. People used to lose their minds to that shit. It was just, the first time people heard Camptown Races, they were like, doo-dah, doo-dah. He's a man possessed. We didn't always have catchy music in this country, That song was famous on the East Coast and the West Coast of the United States when there was just one train connecting those two things. There was no radio. People used to fuck to that song, man. When Camptown Races first dropped, that's when people in America first learned that you can choke each other when you fuck, and it's a good thing. We learned that lesson on wooden porches, under swings. Okay, well, I think I did good enough. You guys are really cool. Thank you so much.